1033. What am I talking about? And joining us on the line are conversations with OSF Healthcare. As I've told you guys before, I really think that to be able to have a partner like OSF Healthcare in our community is really just very great for all of us to have. And joining us on the line is one of their mission partners of the month, Nancy. And help me out here because I do this all the time, and I'm going to be good. Robeen, did I get it correct?
You got it right.
Thank you so much for joining me on the line today. And Nancy, how are we doing this Monday morning? It's a little warm out there, huh?
It is a bit warm, but it is a great day. At least we have a little sunshine, but we'll probably be wanting clouds here real soon.
I'm telling you what, I'm ready for it too. And with that being said, before we dive into this fully, take us through, just overview your time with OSF Healthcare and what makes it so special.
As I've been here, I've grown mainly more faithfully, and I think it's just learning more. I've always known this, but just learning more that we are really an extension of God's hands, and they make it so easy. There's just special memories and things that everybody does here that just makes us stand out and makes us shine in God's eyes. They do special things like the blessing of the hands. They have special prayers that they send to us for special holidays in the Catholic faith. And it just really is a beautiful reminder on a daily basis. And that warms my heart every day.
Absolutely. And, with that being said, with your role as a physical therapist, assistant, a lot of your interactions, with patients are so vital in really helping the outcome of their days or maybe just how their appointments or their therapy is going. And if you could, right off the bat, take us through some of your day-to-day tasks and what Nancy's day kind of looks like for all of us here in downtown Alton this morning.
Well, the day usually does get to start off with a nice cup of coffee. And I need that little perk, to get me rolling in the morning. But, we come in, we, get ready for our patients, cruise through the chart, and then it's go time. We don't have a lot of downtime. So it's go time. We bring our patients back. For me, I like to just start with, a nice smile, a hello, and getting to know the patient. What's going well for you today? And maybe what's not going well for you. And let's sit down and let's see what we can do. And just help these people find some comfort in whatever they're going through.
Without a doubt. And I mean, it kind of goes perfectly into my next question, Nancy, about kind of that personal level of care. Because I can only imagine you've gotten to meet folks of all different walks of life that, have different situations going on each day. So how is it so important to really get to know your patient and really get to know who you're working with?
You really do need to get to know your patients. You're just not treating their body part or their diagnosis, their disease. You are getting to treat them because everything that happens to people, I think even more so now, it affects their mind. It affects their whole body, their soul, their heart. And they need that comfort. We are not connected very well anymore. We need that connection with God. We need that connection with each other. We need to know that we have somebody in our court. Yeah, patients come to us, they get to see their physicians, and those appointments, unfortunately, are very short. They see us for a longer extended a period of time, which we're grateful for. And you really do get to know those people. You have to understand them down to how they sleep, eat, and drink, and more so, like what can't they really do at home? Like, where does that challenge that could be so small, but for them, it's huge. They're dealing with something they have no idea about. So we really got to bring it to light for them.
Without a doubt. And on top of that, take us through, some of the, issues that your patients face. I'm sure you treat folks that, have a plethora of ailments or things that they need to improve on. What are some of your, patients kind of going through that you help them with? Is it a lot of it surgery recovery, or is it a lot of it things that they've been having to deal with their entire lives?
Mm-hmm. Some of both. Some things that patients have dealt with all their life, and they come back for, little perk ups to make sure that they're on the right track. I actually, in the last 6 years, have become a lymphedema therapist. So my treatment course mostly is dealing with our lymphedema patient. That is a long-term chronic condition. So, these folks come in here and they don't know what's wrong with them. They don't understand it. And that can be from just a surgical standpoint. So yes, you're dealing with the surgeries. Or they might just have this swelling condition. So, you deal with helping these people, understand the condition, getting through what they have to do to deal with, manage this, because it is a lifelong condition. And so we work a lot with manual lymphatic drainage, some exercises. They're very simple. It doesn't take like hours to exercise. It's just about movement and keeping things rolling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to help them get into garments. So at that, they're dealing with something that they're, again, not familiar with, and the financial aspect.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money, and people are not fiscally able to help do that. So we spend a great deal of time reaching out to our resources and helping patients get some financial accommodations with that.
Absolutely. And Nancy, with that being said, it seems like this was really, something that just goes hand in hand with, who you are as a person with this role. And has this field been something you've always wanted to pursue, or was this something that you kind of stumbled into?
Well, when I was in high school, I always wanted to be a nurse. Well, my parents took me to an open house at J.B. Johnson Center. Of course, that's dating me quite a bit. But my mom said, "You're going to have to work weekends and nights." Well, I quickly changed my mind. Quickly changed my mind, but didn't know that the world of therapy would go to weekends and holidays too. But things swing both ways. But I had a cousin that became a physical therapist, and her and I were really close. And so I tailed her for quite a bit. All my years of high school, I worked with her in the summers, and on holidays, she'd take me to work with her. So I kind of got to see therapy from the ground up. I was errand girl, cleaning, just being an overall helper. And that really set my mindset into like, I want to do something that helps people, which probably was the nursing too, but that was it. I wanted to be able to help somebody feel better and have a better life.
Well, and another perfect segue, Nancy, because leading into that, I was going to ask, it was in the article or in the write-up that, part of your nomination form was not a lot of people will ever can tell if you're, having a bad day or not. And how important is it for you to know that your patients don't really, maybe if you're having a bad day, they don't fully see that, and they see your mood as constantly positive. How important is that for their care?
Well, it is extremely important because, when you come to us, you don't feel well. And I think we need to remember that. Sometimes we hear each other say, oh, they're grouchy, or, what, they probably are grouchy.
Yeah.
This thing about how we feel if we don't have a great day. And this is something they're trying to, again, navigate through, live through. They don't understand. And so we have to really stop and put their life into perspective for them a little bit. And they need that happiness, that love. They need to know that they're going to be greeted with somebody that's thinking of them, validating them, and just making their life a better pathway.
Absolutely. And, is there and I never, every time I ask this question, I always throw a disclaimer. You don't have to name any names or anything like that, Nancy, but is there, a story that you have with someone maybe you've worked with and, kind of, as you're working with this patient or individual, you realize that, this physical therapy avenue, this field was right for you? Was there a moment that you had that made you realize, yep, I chose the right path here?
Well, I do have a favorite patient that I remember. It's right after I became a lymphedema therapist. She was somebody that had lymphedema from breast cancer treatment and stuff. And she was a very sick person. And it was very helpful to see her improve as far as she could. But just being able to help her navigate through the illnesses that came with the cancer, and then with lymphedema and how to manage that. And she was very successful. I mean, she was very tired. She was a very sick lady, and she just navigated so many things. And just continuing to help her work through each step along the way. I mean, I could talk all day long about all the people, but she's probably the one that sticks the most in my mind. And
Well,
I get a little teary-eyed each day I think of her.
well, I could imagine, and just my family and mom's a Coda, and they all are in the, field, and they have the same, feeling about some of the people that they experience and interact with. They, those memories stick with you. And
Yes.
that's what I was going to kind of wrap up with. And I always hate to type in the topical question of, well, what's your favorite part? Well, I think it's important for this because just talking with you the 10 minutes or 15 we have, Nancy, it's been really cool to see your passion and really see, the person that's caring for us. What is your favorite part about this role? Is it the person? Is it, the care that you're giving? Is it the reason you're doing it? What is it for you?
Well, I think every day I wake up, I always think to myself, how can I make somebody's day better and how can I make their life better? I like to see people be healed, but not everybody can completely be healed. But what can I do to make their life better? Because I've always disliked the comment, oh, you're just going to have to live with it. So if I can do anything to make that easier for somebody to have to live with, I am going to go upside down to figure that out for them.
Absolutely.
And I think they know that and appreciate that. But I think it's important to make life that much better. And again, if you do that with God's help and with his extended arms, it's not really that challenging. You're living through God.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Nancy. And I know that you're busy and in the middle of your workday, and I really appreciate the 15 minutes you gave us. And I just think it's great to have this conversation and truly highlight somebody that's truly helping us. And I can tell you that there's probably some listeners going, oh my God, Nancy's on, and all that great stuff and have their stories. Nancy, congratulations on the recognition. You truly deserved
Thank
it.
you.
And thanks for stopping by and chatting with me this morning.
I appreciate it. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break. It's 10:45 in the heart of the 618. Our daily show continues after this one in downtown Alton.